Hey guys, welcome back, and I hope you all have been enjoying the last couple episodes. Your comments, your thoughts, your opinions have been amazing to read about, and your stories. So without wasting any more time, let's get into episode 8, Hounds of Old Porter Road. Before getting any farther into this real quick, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and let me know what you think in the comments of the video. There's a stretch of road in northwest Indiana where people swear they were followed, where eyes glow just beyond the headlights, where growls seem to circle you. Even when there is nothing there, they call them the Hounds of Old Porter Road. Some say they're hellhounds, others say guardians, and a few insist there's something far worse. Tonight, we're not here to exaggerate the legend, we're here to tell the honest history. What's documented, what's misunderstood, and why the story refuses to die. Now, before we start diving into the Hounds of Old Porter Road, this is in my hometown. It's in a county over, but it's not even a 10-minute drive. So when the weather is better and it's warmer, we are going to venture out to this Old Porter Road and we are going to investigate ourselves. That's the plan. We have the equipment to do so, and I hope you subscribe to see when that video does pop up. Because right now it is 10 degrees outside, and at night it drops even lower. So we're gonna wait till it's warmer. So let's keep moving forward. Old Porter Road is not a mythic place by design. It's an old transportation route in Porter County, Indiana. Dating back to the 1800s, originally used for wagons and trade, it later became less traveled as towns modernized. By the early 20th century, portions of the road were isolated, hemmed in by dense forest, wetlands, and the dunes. Few lights, few houses, long stretches where sound carries farther than it should. It's the kind of place where stories grow naturally. Although there are no newspaper articles, no police reports, and no verified attacks, the Hounds of Old Porter Road do not appear in official records. Instead, the legend surfaces through oral tradition, stories passed down between locals, teens, and late-night dare seekers. Early versions, especially 20th century, don't describe demons. They describe large dogs, aggressive, moving in groups, and over time, the story darkened. Despite how ancient the Hounds of Old Porter Road sound, the legend itself is relatively modern, and its roots are grounded in local memory rather than documented history. There are no confirmed newspaper articles, police reports, or 19th century records mentioning supernatural hounds tied to this road. In the 1800s, Old Porter Road was simply a rural route surrounded by wilderness and wildlife. The first known mentions begin much later, around the 1940s and 1950s, when longtime Porter County residents recalled stories about packs of large wild dogs roaming the area, remembered as aggressive toward livestock and unsettling to drivers, but still described as real animals. By the 1960s and the 1970s, the stories spread among locals and teenagers daring each other to drive the isolated stretch at night. That's when reports shifted from wild dogs to something stranger. Animals pacing cars, glowing eyes in the dark, and growls coming from the woods. Then, in the 1980s and 1990s, the legends took on its fully supernatural form. Phantom hounds, hellish eyes, creatures too large and too fast to be normal. This evolution lines up perfectly with the rise of paranormal storytelling, culture, and religional folklore revival. What began as likely encounters with feral dog or coyote packs slowly transformed into one of Indiana's most persistent road legends. Now, if you live in the Porter County area, LaPorte County area, and you have ventured out to this road, or you have friends or family that lived out there across from the cemetery, where you walk the train tracks, let me know in the comments. I want to know your stories, and I want to know what I should be expecting when I head out there. Because who knows? We could find something, we could find nothing. But the whole thrill of it is getting out there and seeing if there is something. So let me know in the comments. To understand the hounds, you have to leave Indiana. European settlers brought folklore with them, stories of phantom black dogs that haunt lonely roads. In England, black shuck. In Germany and Scandinavia, death omen hounds that appear before tragedy. These stories weren't considered entertainment. They were warnings. When settlers encountered unfamiliar wilderness, those old fears adapted. Indiana got its own black dog. Here's the most grounded explanation and the most overlooked. Northern Indiana has a long history of wild and feral animals. Coyotes are common. Packs of abandoned hunting dogs once roamed rural roads. In the 1800s, even wolves passed through. Coyotes can sound like screaming children, like growls, like multiple animals when there are only two. At night, their eyes reflect light, their movement is fast, silent, and coordinated. To someone alone on a dark road, they don't feel natural. They feel intelligent. And like most cryptids we talk about, like Bigfoot, it's not usually the visuals, it's the sounds. Most encounters don't involve seeing the hounds. They involve hearing them, panting, growling, footsteps that seem to pace you. Sound travels farther at night, trees distort the direction, your brain fills in gaps with a threat. Fear doesn't wait for confirmation. Many witnesses describe the same sensation, being watched. Psychologists call this predator detection mode. When visibility is low and isolation is high, the human brain assumes danger. This isn't weakness, it's survival. Now, many stories involve vehicles, scratching sounds, pacing beside cars, something running just out of sight. Dogs chase engine noise, headlights create tunnel vision, reflections move when you move. The faster you go, the faster it feels like they're keeping up. Witnesses often insist the hounds were too big to be real. At night, size perception collapses. Without reference points, a 60-pound animal can feel massive. Fear magnifies everything. The dark closes in, and your mind starts going with what's out there, that thinks that's out there, and puts you in a state of survival and wanting to get out of there. But there is one consistent detail that stands out. The hounds never leave the road. Animals respect territory. Roads are boundaries. Humans call this a supernatural rule. Nature calls it habit. And with that, there's more to it. There's more around the area. Old Porter Road isn't unique. Within 100 miles, you'll find similar stories. The Black Dog of Michigan City, Devil Dogs of Wisconsin, spectral hounds along Illinois back roads. Different names, same structure. Kind of like the Lady in White. We've all heard of the story. We've all heard the story of Gravity Hill, where if you park on a hill and you put it in neutral, children or something pushes your car up the hill. The Lady in White. Everywhere I feel like around America has this type of story, where it's about a lady that drowned her children in a lake or the bathtub, and then she took her own life. It's one of those stories that just carry on, and they adapt to their surroundings, and then the residents adapt to that story, and then it carries forward within generations. And like we said earlier, some of it may be not just stories, they're warnings to not go out there. So use your own judgment. Let me know in the comments what you think. Your thoughts, your opinions, your stories, your insight helps this channel keep moving forward. Why the legend won't die, why it will never just fade away. Well, the hounds are persistent because they're believable. No daylight proof, no clear sightings, just fear, memory, and expectation. Once a place gets a reputation, every sound confirms that legend. So with the hounds of Old Porter Road, they aren't proven supernatural beings. There's something more unsettling. Reminder that humans evolved to fear what they can't see. The nature doesn't need monsters, and that some roads carry stories, whether we believe them or not. So what do you think about the hounds of Old Porter Road? What do you think about the Black Dog of Michigan City? What do you think about the stories, the lore, the folklore around your local area? Is there anything that you guys are known for having that is supernatural like? It could range from anything. But whatever it is, make sure you stay off those old back roads. And if you see anything in the woods, if you're walking along those old back roads, get in your car and run. Get out of there. Don't risk it. Don't chance it. Because then you can't come back and tell the story of it. So let me know your stories down in the comments down below. Make sure you like, subscribe. And if you guys like this, more will be coming every week. Stay tuned. Thank you guys again. This has been episode 8, Indiana folklore, legends, cryptids, the Hounds of Old Porter Road. Have a good Sunday.